so they can figure out if the girl wants to have validational
So,
sex. But
yes,
let me finish. But people take that and assume that guys are supposed to be sleeping with multiple women. And although he does say sleep non-exclusively, most men can't. And the idea is that they want the guy to kind of divert their, what do you call it, attention to different things, because guys get so focused on a woman that they give up everything in their life for a woman, and that they end up not being the best version of themselves for themselves. They end up doing it for the girl, and the girl, more often than not, will leave them. And it's just like it's not conducive, like, in my opinion. I don't know. I just think if we keep going back and doing this whole hypergamy, Rollo Tomasi, it's just like stupid.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like, I don't mind having this debate. But
I just think it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think it's beneficial for the audience. Like most time, debates aren't for us; it's for the audience.
Okay.
And honestly, like the issue I have
is
that at the end of the day, whether or not the context behind what was written is there, the way that I'm seeing the result of the listeners,
sure,
but especially in the red pill.
Here's the thing.
I literally hear that hypergamy is women's nature.
Yeah,
that
becomes the
okay.
issue.
So
I've never heard.
It's not a thing that men do. You're right.
It is a thing that men do.
But I'm saying, like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So is it in their nature? So the thing is, from an evolutionary standpoint, there has to be some algorithm in a human's brain. So for us as men, if I were to ask you whether or not Selma Hayek in Dusk Till Dawn was attractive, or some other, like Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street, if you were to ask 100 men, is she attractive? They'd all just immediately say there has to be some algorithm in the Homo sapien male's brain that quickly can determine this woman is higher status or more likely to be fertile or whatever.
Sure.
It has to exist. So you have to understand the contrapositive has to exist in women. There must be some algorithm by which women sift men who are worthy of having children and men who are not. This is just an evolutionary algorithm. And most men will not be worthy. And therefore, because most men are not worthy, that's the 80-20 rule. And therefore, hypergamy exists, and it is an evolutionary function. That's the way I believe. If you want to call it something else.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but even when you do the denotative definition, it shows that there are other versions of the gammy. What women can do. Right?
Only a woman
the hyper part. The gammy is just women. Yeah.
The gammy is only in women.
Wasn't there a mono as well? Like a monogamy?
No, I'm sorry. It's called homogamy. Homogamy would be homogamy. But the problem is there's not really science that shows that most women are into homogamy. So here's the thing. What we would do. So here's the thing. Let's go into this. When you talk about hypergamy, for each woman, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's a normal distribution for what women find attractive. But for men, it's what's called negative kurtosis, meaning like men find a very, very narrow range of features in women attractive. That's why we can all, if I were to say, is this girl attractive? Almost all men would agree. For women, we have some women who are into guys who have, you're seeing dudes with tattoo sleeves are just complete losers and just get super hot girls, right? So we see tattoo sleeves, tattoos on the face. We see dudes who are drug dealers. And then we see the big ones that would be in the middle of the standard deviation would be looks, money, status, right? And then we have other ones where like some women are into very, very like short but extremely powerful men, or exceptionally rich, or whatever reason, or the guy who's just the manager at the Denny's that you happen to work at in Des Moines, stuff like that. You hear about stories like that all the time. So for women, the hyper, meaning gaining up or going up in status, that's different depending on what contextual world that she lives in. Does that make sense? So if you live in Des Moines and you are working at the Denny's, then you're dating the manager at the Denny's. But you are, in some case, looking for a higher status man all the time. There is some function. And
even in marriage.